Okay, we're gonna begin on our backs, and I'm actually gonna teach very similar class to what I taught the other day. I really liked it, so I hope you do too. Do what you can. So I have a bunch of blocks kind of set up today because I'm going to be using them. If you don't have as many blocks as I have, we just kind of make do. You can go without the blocks always. So we're going to start on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. Have the soles of the feet together and the knees flop apart and let your head rest. So if you're dealing with neck or lower, even lower back stuff, or just kind of want to experiment with different ways to practice, I'm sliding a block underneath the back of my head. Letting the curvature of the neck kind of be free and just giving myself a little bit of support. If that doesn't work for you, you dump it. So once again, all the suggestions I make, you try if you want. If they don't work, you just do what works. Soles of the feet come together, palms flop open, back of the shoulder blades drop to the ground. Close your eyes for a moment if you can. I know sometimes that's hard. Exhale all the breath out. And then just allow yourself to feel. Feel your inner thighs drop open. Feel the arches of your feet press together. Feel the just natural rise and fall of the belly. And at any point during the practice, you need to come back to this. You need to come back to a child's pose and just kind of get yourself together. That is totally fine. Good. Blink your eyes open. I'm going to take this second block and I'm going to place it in between my thighs today, going the long direction. If you don't have a second block, you don't have to do it. You can also just do it without it. The soles of the feet are going to ground down. I'm going to squeeze the block in between my thighs, and that way I'm just creating a nice contraction. My arms are going to reach forward like a Pilates roll up. Your head can stay down, or you can lift your head up, go straight up towards the sky. It's up to you. But I'm creating an action of my core. So I'm just beginning to reach with my arms and contracting my core as I squeeze the block pretty intently. And I'm just going to hold. So you just begin to feel your inner thighs zip up, your outer thighs action, and your core begin. Like if you feel your core, it's engaged. So just reach. Back of the shoulders lift, but the neck can stay down or stay up. It's up to you. Good. Keep all that. Keep the engagement. And then you're going to go ahead and lift the legs on an angle. But if you're holding the block, don't drop the block. Okay, so lift the legs on an angle that works. If lower back is sensitive, the legs go up higher. If you want to work more into the lower core, the legs will obviously go down lower. So find what works. Keep hugging the block, keep engaging the activation of your core, and keep the reaching forward of your arms. Rebend the legs, take the feet flat to the floor. Squeeze the core higher, lift a little bit more, and then exhale the breath, let it go, but don't let the block go. You can just kind of loosely let your thighs go. Try it again. Squeeze the block, reach your arms forward and contract your core. So just begin to feel here. All right. Lift the legs on an angle, hold, keep reaching, keep engaging the core, keep squeezing the block. Lower the legs, bend the knees, take the feet flat, lift a little higher within your own body, within your own range. Exhale the breath, let it go. So another one like this, and we add on. Pull yourself up, any angle that works with your legs bent, squeeze the block. Lift your legs on an angle, hold, squeeze the block a little more, keep reaching. Rebend the legs, take the feet flat, squeeze the block, engage the core. Exhale the breath, let it go. So this is isometric core work. Pull yourself up any angle, keep the legs bent, keep squeezing the block. Lift the legs on an angle, hold, stay with this, or you can slowly lower and tap your heels, holding the block. Lift the legs back up on an angle, keep squeezing the block. Rebend the legs, take the feet flat, squeeze the core, lift an inch higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Two more like this. Pull yourself up any angle, could be just a little movement. Lift the legs on an angle, squeeze the block. You can stay here and hold. You can slowly lower the heels, tap them down. Slowly squeeze the block, lift them back up. My head is not lifted. Rebend the legs, take the feet flat, lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Another one. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle. Lower down, let the heels tap if you can. Lift the legs back up, keep squeezing the block. Rebend the legs, take the feet flat, lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Remove the block. Squeeze the knees in towards the chest. Rock yourself up, crisscross your legs, stretch your arms up, and then come forward. Move your seat back. So once again, you can use blocks, you can use a pillow, you can use a blanket. Let your forehead rest on something. Your arms are active, like down dog. Feel your hands press into the floor. Let your seat just kind of move back and your spine grow a little longer. You got it. Good. Pull your torso up and re-switch the legs. Re-switch the legs. Yep. Perfect. So you want to kind of anchor up. The seat moves back a little, and then you're going to come forward again. So it's kind of like you're doing child's pose with crisscross applesauce. Yeah. And then reset the forehead somewhere down. I actually think this feels better sometimes than child's pose because you're getting this kind of inner and outer thigh stretch. If your butt is super lifted up off the floor, you probably need something underneath your head. So start to focus on Ujjayi breath. Inhale through your nose, through the back of the throat. Exhale through your nose, through the back of the throat. Pull yourself up. Just put your blocks to the side. You'll probably need them as we practice. Take the hands directly underneath the shoulders and bring yourself into a little tabletop position. Little tabletop position. Yeah. Have your hands as wide as the mat. Look down and make sure that your index fingers are forward and the creases of the wrist are facing forward. Curl the right toes into the mat. Activate your right thigh bone and keep the hips nice and squared. Good. Your dristi, also known as your focus, just drift it to the front edge of your mat. Float the right leg up, hip height, slide your left arm forward. Good. So just reach and stretch in opposite directions and create some space for yourself here. The contraction of your lower belly in, the activation of your back right leg, and the reaching of your left arm. If reaching the arm forward doesn't feel good, you can always have it by your side body. Hand and knee come down to the ground, tabletop position. Curl the left toes into the mat, contract the thigh. Work on your alignment and just your breath, subtle movements. Float the left leg up, only hip height. Reach your right arm forward if that's available to you. Contract the navel to the back of the spine. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. It becomes a meditation at points in the practice. Create more space. Hand and knee come to the floor. So just breath and movement. This is almost like a brain exercise. Right leg lifts hip height, left arm extends. Connect your breath as you do it. Hand and knee come to the floor. Left leg extends, right arm reaches. Right hand, left knee comes to the floor. Keep going like this. So left arm, right leg. Hand and knee come down. Left leg, right arm. Hand and knee come down. Connect your breath and your movement. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Release. Opposite arm, opposite leg. One more cycle on each side. You're kind of moving at your own pace right now. Opposite arm, opposite leg. And then when you get to neutral, tabletop position, activate your arms, lift your hips, down dog. So Kristen, with the neck and the shoulder stuff, when everyone else is doing vinyasas, that's kind of a good way to stay engaged in the practice, and it's very, gentle. Anybody else who's not into taking 100 push-ups can just find ways to move and stay connected in their practice that doesn't need to be so aggressive. Lift the hips up off the shoulders, bend behind your knees, and let your head go. Yes. Spread the toes wide across the mat. Looks great. Everyone has such pretty backdrops to their yoga practices. Like, why would we ever want to go into a smelly yoga studio after practicing in these beautiful homes? Right. Let the movement of your shoulders move away from you if possible. And just be still once you've kind of wiggled out all the junk. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. And allow yourself to really just feel what's going on, the good and the bad. And then we focus mostly on the good stuff, right? Good. Roll forward to plank. Yep. So if you can't take plank, you just drop your knees and you'll hold in a tabletop position. Yeah. Plank position is what we're looking for. I'm telling my landscaper he can't cut a tree down right now. Tabletop position or plank. Plank. Lead with your chest. He literally just came to the door like a machete. I was like, seriously, you're gonna cut a tree down right now? I've got plugs in my ears. I'm like, no. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Those look good, guys. Roll forward plank or tabletop, whatever you're doing. Plank position. When you come to plank, lead with your heart. Come all the way up onto your tippy toes. Contract your thighs and look forward with your eyes, not with your head. One straight line of energy is what you're looking for. The scissoring in of your inner thighs. Now keep your eyes fixed, and if you're taking push-ups, lower halfway to a chaturanga right now. You can drop your knees, you can take support. Push up, chaturanga, elbows slide by the side body. Some version of a chaturanga right here. Gather in your navel to the back of the spine, and then with that, keep your eyes fixed forward, straighten your arms to a plank. Revisit plank. You got it. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga, supported, mild, medium, hot and spicy, whatever you're looking for. Re-straighten your arms to a plank position. Lower halfway again, chaturanga dandasana, and hold. Wherever you are, you hold. Lead with your heart and chest for an upward facing. Slide your heart through your body. Your arms are straight if possible. Your legs are pointed, your toes are pointed. From your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go. Take 2 big steps to get to the top of the mat this morning. When you arrive, your feet can be together or a little separated. It's up to you. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Your weight is forward. Exhale, fold in half. Let your head go. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. We're going to take a couple of amended sun A's at the top of the mat, okay? Here we go. So from a standing position, sweep your arms straight up or out and up. Dive in half over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go if you can. Come to your fingertips and prepare, or hands just slide to your shins and the weight stays forward. Exhale, fold again in half. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. These are great to know if you're nursing an injury as well, because you can just stand while everyone's doing regular sun salutations. Arms reach up, look up. Dive again over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips or hand slide to your shins, long spine. Exhale, fold in half. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor. Drag those hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. It's all about connecting. Arms reach up, look up a little. Dive over those bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Exhale, fold again. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor. Hands to prayer at heart, arms drop. Keep moving, arms reach up. Dive again over bent knees, forward fold, let the head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare, plant your palms. You can just step to a plank. Step to plank. Yeah. So wherever you're choosing with your vinyasas today, you lower halfway to a chaturanga if that works for you. Pull yourself to a very deliberate up dog. Pause in the up dog if you can. From your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Get out of your own way, literally. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. So make it light. Long spine when you arrive. Exhale, fold. Let your head go. Root to rise, come all the way up. Hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. So this is the more traditional A that you probably know. Arms reach up, look up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let the head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare, plant your palms. You're gonna step, or you're gonna float to a chaturanga. So it's up to you how you wanna move. I'm going plank and then I'm just going up dog. Yeah, perfect, Reg. Hips up and back, downward facing. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's proper alignment, and it's working with your body and what you need. Look where you want to go, step or float your feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale, exhale, fold again, let the head go. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor. Drag the hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms, connect. Arms reach up, dive again over those bent knees, forward fold, let the head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare, step, or float through your vinyasa, whatever that looks like for you today. Deliberate in it though, don't fly through. Hips up and back, downward facing. We'll do one more, breathe. Plug down with your hands, keep them straight, your arms straight, look where you want to go, step or float to the top. Long spine on the inhale, weight is forward, exhale, fold, root to rise, come all the way up, hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Last one of these bad boys. Arms reach up, dive again over those bent knees, let your head go. Long spine on the inhale, step, or float. If you're gonna float, just reminding you, bent elbows to a chaturanga. Then you take your up dog if it's available. Lead with your chest, hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your down dog, roll forward to plank. Plank position. Hug your right knee to your navel in plank. I'm taking the more passive version of this, down dog with the right knee in. So that's another alternative. Plank position is where we're at with the knee towards the navel. Gathering into the center line of the body, squeezing the right knee closer towards the belly button. Look forward with your eyes and land your right foot all the way forward and through into a low lunge. Just pause for a second. If you have blocks, that's wonderful. If you don't, you're just going to make do the best that you can. If you only have one, it's going to go in the center. You're going to reach for these blocks and you're going to float up and into a mended warrior three. So if you don't have blocks, what you'd want to do is to see if you can just balance with your hands in prayer. Maybe you don't even need these blocks. You can just balance with your hands in prayer, which I clearly cannot do this morning. So an amended warrior three, which means like we were in that tabletop position, the back leg is parallel to the mat. Your hips are not open. And there's a little bend behind your right knee so you can get a lift of your upper torso. Warrior three or amended warrior three, look forward with your eyes and hold. Zip up the sides of your body. So if your hands are down on blocks, they can stay. If they're in a prayer, that's fine. You're going to take a giant step back into a low lunge. Okay? Yep. Integrate your legs, and then from here, you're going to rise up to a crescent lunge. Come up nice and high. So if it didn't work out, it wasn't so pretty, it's okay. Just make it work right here. If you get here and this doesn't feel good to you, you're always welcome to drop your back knee, and you can always pad that knee. Sit deep into your front right thigh. Integrate the legs strongly. And pick a spot to look at that's kind of so your neck doesn't drop, just kind of neutral. Drag the hands to a prayer at heart. Lean forward about 2 inches. So it looks like this. You're going to air twist to the right. So the movement is very slow and there's not a lot happening. Grip your right hip in strong, press your palms together, and you're kind of staying up very high and hovering. Scissor the inner and outer thighs together. Look right, or maybe even look up a little bit softly towards the sky if you can, without your neck moving. Grip the hips in more and twist a little deeper. Focus on your breath. Eyes go to the floor, hands come down and pause, okay? Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Grip your hips in, keep your right foot where it is. Slide your arms back like a set of awesome wings. You're hovering in warrior one. You're not coming up yet. Steer your right hip up underneath you and your left thigh forward, your left ribs forward. Press strong through your feet and your legs, and then rise warrior one. So when I come up this way into warrior one, sometimes I'm surprised to find that my right leg has a little more wiggle room. So maybe you can slide it a little bit more forward. The left ribs must steer forward and the arms reach up. Outer blade of your back foot secure to the mat if possible, and get a little heavier in your front leg. Stay with it. We're gonna move in a second, so enjoy the moments where you're a little bit more still. Bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Step to a plank. Step to plank and hold. You can hold plank, you can hold tabletop, lower halfway to a chaturanga. You decide what you want. You're in chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Hug your left knee in. Hug your left knee in close to you. I lifted my hips into a little bit more of a forgiving version of this, so I'm in a down dog, but most of you are in plank, hugging your left knee in. Let the breath flow. Draw it a little closer to you. Then look forward with your eyes and see if you can take a giant step forward into a low lunge. Pause for a second when you get your foot there. If you're gonna use blocks, that's great. I'm gonna set them up in front of me, and I'm gonna pop up into an amended warrior 3. Soften behind your left knee. It almost feels like it's half bent. That's okay. Steer the hips so they're facing towards the ground. And maybe you need the blocks a little bit. Maybe you need them a lot. Maybe you can ditch them. The hands can go to a prayer. Grip the hips in strong and flex your right foot. Keep the neck nice and neutral. Hold. Sides of your waist and body, zip them up. Good. If your hands are on blocks, you can put them there, or you're welcome to drop them down. Giant step back, low lunge, and pause. Then come up from this low lunge, crescent lunge. So you come up to this crescent lunge, you grip your outer hips in, bend deeply into your front left thigh, activate all the muscles around your back right quadricep and hamstring. And just connect to yourself right here. Hip points move forward. Hands drag to prayer. Lean forward about 2 inches, maybe 3. I'm not good at math. Turn your ribs a little to the left and look left. So you're air twisting. When we air twist like this, we have a natural tendency to kind of want to wing our left hip out, grip it underneath you strong, and keep the heavy sensation in the front left thigh. The movement is not a lot, it's a little. Activate the back leg. It feels like you're going to launch forward. And look a little left, maybe even look up. Stay with it. Squeeze in tight. Look down, place both hands to frame the front foot. Took a pause. Keep the left foot where it is. Turn the back foot strong. Reach your arms back and set up for that's kind of hovering warrior 1. So you're almost resting your stomach on your front left thigh. You're steering your left hip underneath you. Your right thigh and right ribs move forward. Press strong through your feet and then come up warrior 1. And I found this enormous amount of space that I can kind of slide the left foot forward and get in there a little deeper. Good. Press and secure the outer blade of your right foot into the mat. Almost want to feel like you're lifting your arch. Another big breath in. Stay with it. Quiet your mind. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Step back to a plank. In your plank, decide what you need. Lower halfway to a chaturanga. Pull yourself through a smooth up dog. There shouldn't be any pressure in your low back when you do this, guys. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Before we move on, just step your right foot forward and through, turn your back foot strong, warrior 1. Just come up nice and normal here. Warrior 1, just kind of let it free flow. Bring it back down at your own pace, your own tempo through a vinyasa. Upward facing, if and when. Nice, hips up and back, downward facing. The left foot lands, the back foot turns, warrior 1. Come on up. Bring it back down to the floor through a vinyasa, or you can always just go to a down dog. And that's where we pause. We meet up in down dog and we breathe. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go, step or float to the top. Long spine on the inhale, exhale, fold. This time we go to chair, my least favorite pose. Sit deep, chair pose. Weight is in your heels. Your butt goes back, your arms reach up, or your hands can be by your side body, like airplane arms. Your hands can be in prayer. But dig down deep in chair. Shoot up to stand up, drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. We get to put it all together with excitement. Chair pose, sit deep. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let the head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. When you get to your down dog, right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Come on up. And then in your own pace, you bring it back down through a vinyasa or not. Good, just keep it moving. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. The idea is called a warm up. It's supposed to feel good. Shouldn't be too rigorous. Bring it back down to the floor. When you are ready, plank position to a chaturanga. Upward facing dog is smooth. It's not like you're jamming into your lower back. Hips up and back, down dog, you pause. Take a deep breath in. Take a full, complete breath out. Look where you want to go, step or float to the top. Long spine on that inhale. Exhale, fold. Sit again into a smooth chair. I really find this pose is more mental than anything. So just stick your butt back, move the weight into your heels, and create a natural arch through your spine. Feel the weight into your heels and then shoot up to stand up. Drop your arms by your side body. Keep it moving, chair pose. Sit deep. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare, step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog, make it feel good. The arms are straight, hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Bring it back down to the floor through a vinyasa. Nice, Reggie. From your down dog, left foot steps, back foot turns, warrior one. Bring it back down to the floor, plank position, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go, step or float. One more time, top and mat. Long spine on the inhale, exhale, fold, sit again, chair, weight moves into your heels. Press up to stand up, top of the mat, arms by side body. All right, we got this. Chair pose, sit deep. Move the weight into your heels. Dive over those straight legs, forward fold. Come to the fingertips to prepare, step or float through your vinyasa. So just keep it moving right now. Upward facing dog, smooth operation. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Bring it back down when you are ready to a chaturanga. Up dog. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns. There's some momentum going here. Back down to the floor, through a vinyasa or right to a dog, which is where we will meet. Downward facing dog. Find some stillness with your mind, most importantly. And then slide your right foot again forward, turn your back foot strong, warrior one. And this time we come up and we're gonna add on, warrior one. Okay, so here we are in warrior one. The goal here is to really have the front ribs moving forward. So do your best with that. Slide your arms forward like you're handing a tray to someone. Wrap your left arm the best that you can underneath your right. So you can go opposite shoulders. You can also, of course, take hands to prayer. You don't want to yank down. So there's a movement of the shoulder blades moving up. Good. Sit real heavy in your front leg and begin to slowly peel your left heel up off the ground. So now you're in like this eagle crescent. Sitting deep into your front right thigh, wrap your left leg around into eagle, top of mat. It's not always the most blissful movement. So if you feel like you fall and it kind of gets a little sloppy, It's okay. You can always reset. Think chair with your hips. Squeeze the arms and the legs nice and tight and look down the center. Feel the weight in the standing right heel. This is actually great for blood flow, kind of moving the blood around the body. You probably don't need a lot of that. Stay with it. Keep squeezing the legs very, very tight and unravel just your arms like you're in chair. So the arms are going up and the legs are bound. You're going to very slowly press into the standing right leg and draw the left knee towards the navel. So just stand up on your right leg with your left leg bent in half. So just doing that much. So if you lost your balance, you restart. Hands draw to a prayer at heart, okay? You're gonna air twist to the left. So just like a little turn of your upper ribs, and I'm looking at you to the left. But the lift of the left thigh has not dropped. So I'm really engaging my core. And I'm standing up nice and tall. From here, if it's available to you, you can open up your arms. You're kind of floating in this pose. It's a floating posture. Hips haven't turned, they're forward. Spine is long. Now, if you want to add on and then begin to extend your left leg forward, that's cool, but this is hard as heck. So decide what you want and how far you want to go. So maybe just keeping the leg bent, you're happy. Breathe across the front side of your body so you begin to really open up the left shoulder. This is actually great for opening up the whole pec area. Keep the lift of the leg. You're doing awesome. So we get out the way we went in. So the hands gather back to a prayer. We revisit the center with our hands in prayer. Good. We slide the arms back up towards the sky. Keep the lift of the upper body. Lower the left foot down to meet the right. And sit pretty tremendously into a chair. The hands gather one more time into a prayer. We're going to turn left, guys. I know we're used to going right first. I'm going to stay very upright. I'm actually not even hooking my elbow today. I'm staying like this, but I'm really focusing on the lower half of the body. Good. If you want to get in there, you're welcome to. If you want to just practice opening your arms and staying a little bit more up, cool as well. Find what works. Gather inward. Dig the weight into your heels and keep moving that energy back while the crown of the head moves forward. Stay with your breath and the feeling. That's the true practice right there. The breath, the feeling, not how deep you're going. Keep the strong shape in your legs. Pull around to center. Slide the arms up if you can. Sit a little deeper. Exhale, forward fold. Let it go. Nice work. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float through your vinyasa. Make it feel good. Building some heat in that little movement there. When you arrive to your down dog, exhale all the breath out. Step the left foot forward. Turn the back foot strong. Warrior one on the left side. Take a second to get yourself together. Always. Arms reach forward like you're handing someone a tray. Right arm wraps. If you think you mixed it up, just kind of do the side you haven't done yet. Rather than yanking down, keep the elbows up or go opposite shoulders. Sit deep into your front left thigh. Focus on that. And then see if you can master wrapping your right thigh around. Wrap the arms, wrap the legs. Any variation works. Steering your hips back and your right knee forward. Focus on one spot. If you're looking outside, it appears to be very windy, so maybe don't look at a tree because it's blowing in the wind. Dig into the standing left heel. Stick your butt back and sit deeper. Keep squeezing those legs. Don't give up there. Unravel just your arms, like you're in chair. Now focus on that standing left leg. Press into it and then draw your right knee in. So you're standing up with your right leg just bent in half and your arms reaching up. If you lost it, you try again. Hands come to a prayer. Pause. Good. This is just great for working on simple balance. Keep the lift of the right thigh. Don't let it drop. Air twist a little to the left. Not a tremendous movement because you want your hips forward. Activate your left thigh bone. Good. If you want more here, open up your arms. Breathe your right shoulder blade back and your left arm forward. Maybe look a little to the right. You got it. If you want to straighten out your leg, go for it, but don't let anything go. You don't want to lean back. I'm just right here today. Lengthen the crown of the head up and find your power, wherever that is. A couple more. If your leg is out forward, good for you. If bend it in half, meet us. Hands come to prayer. Pull the torso around first. Kind of have to unwind ourselves. Sweep the arms back up, but don't let the right leg drop yet. Keep reaching up strong. Lower the right foot down. Sit into chair. Deep into chair. Weight into your heels. Drag the hands to the prayer one more time. Hook and go to the right, or just stay up nice and high and work on your alignment. So now your chair twisting to the right, unless you think you got it backwards. Open up your arms if you want more. Get in there. Weight is in your heels. Watch that the left knee doesn't slide past the right. Very common. Strong focus on your legs. You got this. Pull around to chair. Sit a little deeper in your chair. See what you can find. Sit a little deeper in chair. See what you can find. Shoot up to stand up. Hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Good work. Have the blocks at the top of the mat. Separate your feet, hips width distance. You'll probably need them. Stand on your right leg. Bend your left leg up into a tree. Left leg bends up into a tree. Yeah. Hands can come back to that prayer. You can grow the branches of your tree. You can also always have your hands on your hips if you feel like you need a little more gathered support. Grip your hips in strong. That's the focus here. Fix your eyes. Meditate on one spot. Good. Wherever you are, draw the hands back to a prayer. Bring your left hand to your hip. Let's do it like this today. And reach your right arm out in front of you like you're shaking someone's hand. Your legs are still in tree legs. Your right arm is reaching forward. Your left hand is on your hip. It's like you're shaking someone's hand. Imagine that. Begin to look down and slowly begin to move into half moon like this. Your hand is on your hip. You grip your right hip in strong. I'm definitely going for a block. It's kind of off to the right, about 6, 10, maybe 10 inches to the right. If you need to go towards a wall, yeah, lean against the wall. Your arm could be alongside your body. Your hand could be on your hip. You can extend your left arm up. Good. Find what works. Right foot must stay forward though, and grip your right hip in strong. Side body is nice and long. That just rhymed. If you need to add Shavasana or a variation of balance that you feel is gonna make your practice feel just right today, then do that. If not, just stay here, a few more breaths. There's a lift from your inner left thigh. Keep gripping your right hip in strong. Any embellishments that you added here, just kind of find your way back to the more traditional half moon. And focus strongly on your standing right foot, keeping it forward and gripping your right hip in strong. Very slow transition back to a warrior two. So you're gonna step low to the ground and find your feet, get them aligned, and then open up warrior two. So ideally we want our arms nice and open. If something doesn't feel good, your hands can just be on your hips. This works great. And just feel the lower half of the body moving down, the upper half of the body lifting you up. It's kind of a neat posture. Right thigh wrapping open. And once you get your stuff together here, close your eyes and just meditate on this feeling for the next several breaths. Whatever you're feeling is temporary. Connect to it. Don't hold on to it. Wrap your thigh open, your right thigh. Activate your left leg strong. Breathe across your torso and hold yourself upright. 2 more breaths. Keep the shape of the lower half of the body. Begin to tip the torso. You can rest your arm on your thigh today with the left arm up. I'm actually going to go with the block to the instep. I'm going to tent my right fingertips and use the back of my right tricep to get in there. And the left arm's just going to slide up today. So it's kind of this effort of leaning into the inner thigh to open up the hip. Check in with the outer right hip, everybody, and make sure that's not winging out. So what I mean by that is you don't want to stick your tush back. You want to kind of hug it under you. And then if you feel that you're going to get more with this left arm, to either bring your hand to your hip or wrap it around for a half bind, this would be a good time to add that part in. There's a turning of your bottom ribs, and if you can look up. I'm just going to stay nice and neutral with the neck. And just breathe right here. Secure the left leg, press strong through it. Your entire body is engaged in this posture. It's a great pose. A few more. Right now is about where we want to all kind of bounce out. We're going to stay just a drop longer. They say it's good for you. Warrior 2, come on up. Flip your right palm, reverse the warrior, stay heavy on your front thigh. Guys, this isn't a back bend, it's a side body offering. Look up with your eyes. Cartwheel the hands to frame your front foot. Side plank on the left side. Your left hand's gonna go down. And if you'd like to add a tree pose, you can. This is my version of side plank. Yes. If you're nursing any injury, you wanna try something new. My right leg is set up like a warrior 2. My left knee is underneath me. And I'm floating in space. Tremendous amount of oblique strength. So if you're just in a regular side plank, you're adding tree, lift your bottom hips, look up. Look to the floor, vinyasa. Take it to the floor, vinyasa. Upward facing dog should feel really nice. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look where you want to go, step or float to the top. Stay with me. Long spine on the inhale, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Just root to rise, very simple. Drag your hands to prayer and stand up nice and tall. Have your block set up at the top of the mat. Stand up strong on your left leg and bend your right leg into a tree. Yeah. So tree pose, left leg will be the balancing leg. Gather the hands to a prayer, hands to hips. I mean, there's been days in my yoga lifetime that I just have to go to the wall for these balancing poses. That's okay too. You're still doing something. Grip your hips in strong, fix your eyes, maybe grow the branches of your trees, or maybe not. Grip your hips in strong. You're not just hanging out. You're breathing, it's effective, you're engaging, but it's also very calming. So a lot of energy is going to be focused on that standing left leg right now. Bring the hands back to a prayer. Right hand comes to your hip and left arm extends out like we're shaking hands. This arm activates immediately. So this is all you're doing to begin. Now, from here, you begin to look down and then you slowly work yourself into your half moon. Keep your right hand on your hip and gather your left hip underneath you as you begin to open. Half moon. You can fall as many times as you need in half moon. Yeah. I think the pose was designed to fall out. Right hand can stay on your hip. Right arm can extend up. See how you're all doing. These look fantastic, yes. If you feel like you're reaching for the block, bring the block a little closer underneath your shoulder. Yeah, and it's gonna make it less like there's less effort in the pose. Add in whatever you need, right? And maybe that's just subtracting things. Inspire that inner thigh, lift it up 1 inch higher, flex the top foot a little more. So most of you in the traditional way, which is fine, just stay there. Focus a lot of energy on your standing left foot and your outer hip. Look down, stay close to the floor and see if you can step back without too much commotion. Warrior 2. Yeah. And if you really set your attention to step back lightly, you can do it. Warrior two. Settle into your warrior two. Yeah. Inner thigh rotates open. Back leg is strong. Toes turn in. I'm just going to have my hands on my hips today. It feels like enough, but your arms can be open nice and wide. Yeah. You could breathe. Honestly, warrior two, I was experimenting with like my hands behind my head because I was finding some nice opening. Anything goes here. Your arms can be up like this. They can be straight up. Your ribs are turning forward though, and your chest is open. Close your eyes, last few breaths. Watch that inner left thigh, it wants to turn in, so rotate it open. Get in there a little deeper, get a little heavier in your legs. Blink your eyes open if they've closed. Reach out with your left arm, either rest it on the top of the thigh or slide your hand down to the instep of your foot. A block is very useful here. Use the back of your arm to press against the inside of the leg. Right arm reaches up to begin. Once you set up the basic principles of the pose, you can bring your hand to your hip or you can wrap it around for a half bind. Turn your bottom ribs, look up, grip your left hip in strong. So the gripping of the left hip, it really helps if you focus a lot of energy on your right leg as well. They kind of work nicely together. And then there's a feeling of leaning back a tiny bit. Commit here, a few more. Don't give up. Strong body, strong mind. Warrior two, come on up. Flip the palm, reverse that warrior. Get heavy in your front leg. Circle it to the floor through a vinyasa, or actually let's just go right to right side, side plank. Yeah, right side, side plank. Add a tree in your side plank. So this time left leg is turned in. You got it. I'm floating the side plank. If you're lifting your hips up in side plank, lift them up more. If you're in tree, rotate the thigh open without the hip opening. 3 more breaths. Look to the floor, vinyasa. Upward facing dog, make it feel good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Nice work, guys. Stay with me. Have your blocks to the top of the mat one more time. Downward facing dog, slide your right foot forward into a low lunge. Good, low lunge. So rather than coming up in this low lunge, come with your arms like airplane arms. Yeah, grip the hips in strong. And actually, let's do this. You're hovering, bring your hands to prayer. So you're just hovering, like almost like you're gonna rest your stomach on your thigh. So a lot of leg power here, a lot of core strength and a lot of determination. You're gonna push off that back leg into the front leg for a warrior three. If you need your blocks, you use them. Don't open your hips. We've been practicing this the whole practice. You're gonna air twist to the right without your hips opening. You're just twisting to the right, kind of like you're going to revolved Arda, but you're not using your arms today. Back leg strong. Look a little to the right. If you feel that you do want to open up your arms, you can do so, but don't let your hand touch the floor. Open up your arms and let it hover. Grip your right hip in strong. 3 more breaths. You are doing awesome. Bend behind your right knee so the leg is not pinned straight. And grip your right hip in strong as you flex your left foot. If your arms open, bring them back to prayer. Neutralize your torso, look to the floor. Keep your hands in prayer. Take a giant step back into a crescent lunge with your hands in prayer. If it didn't work out, you reset. Your spine is now straight up and down. Your legs are bent in crescent. Inhale the breath, lean out, and this time you get to hook and twist. Yeah, hook and twist. I'm staying upright here. If back is sensitive, that you can join me. If not, get in there. Grip the hips in strong and turn to the right. Your legs should feel like they're a little bit on fire here. You're using a lot of really strong support through your outer hip muscles and inner thigh strength. Stay with it. Twist open. Look to the floor, place both hands down. Slide your left knee behind your right foot and come down to sit for Ardha Matsyendrasana, the seated spine twist. This is an oldie but goodie. Make sure you're not sitting on your right heel, your left heel, excuse me. Your right hand comes behind you. You can hook your elbow to the outside of that right thigh. I'm just gonna give my leg a squeeze. Create the support from the lower lumbar. Inhale the breath, hugging in, and exhaling the breath, looking over the shoulder and twisting. So you should feel this through the side right hip, through your piriformis. Neutralize and come back to center. A counter stretch feels good. I don't think it does much for us, but it just feels good. So come back to center. Stay with me, guys. Take your left shin and make it so it lines up with the front of the front of the mat. Take your right ankle and cross it over the top of the thigh. So you're going into ankle to knee right now, which is just like kind of a brutal pose. Lift your hips up and then lower them back down. I'll pivot towards you so you can see exactly how this should be set up. And by no means is mine perfect. My thigh is far from my foot because I'm tight in my hip. I'm actually going to slide something in between the space to give myself a little help. The idea is it's ankle to knee, okay? Inhale the breath, stretch your arms up. Exhale the breath like we did before in that crisscross applesauce. Come forward. Let yourself melt. I know it's hard, it's challenging. This is one of those poses, the longer you stay in it, the more you get out of it. We're only staying for a few more breaths, so see what we can get out of it. The more you flex your feet, the more engagement you're gonna get and health of the knee we're gonna be able to give you. You got it. So Reg, you don't have to feel like you even need to fold forward. You can stay just very upright and just breathe into the hips. You can even have your hands behind your back and stay completely upright and just focus on the lower half. Anybody's kids who does sports, this is the pose you should be putting our kids into to keep them flexible. 2 more. Good. So to come out, pull yourself up, unravel your right leg and just extend it out like a tree and take your left leg in. So it just looks like a tree with your right leg out and your left leg bent in. Take your right hand right behind you. We're just going to press up into a sail pose here. It's a nice way to kind of break in. Left arm extends up. Yep, do it with your right hand behind you. Try it out. It's a little different, guys. Left arm up. So the left knee is down, the left arm goes up. The right foot may not touch the floor. You might have to flex it. Little different. Exhale the breath, lower down. So come out of the pose, just swing your legs behind you and step to a dog. Once you get to dog, you may want to kind of clear it with a chaturanga or just an up dog or one more downward facing dog. Here we go. From your down dog, left foot steps, low lunge. Bring your arms back first. This just kind of helps gather you together. And then bring your hands to prayer. Stay close to your front thigh. Keep bending into the front thigh. Push off warrior 3. Bend strongly into that standing left leg. Warrior 3, you're welcome to use blocks. Keep the hips pointed towards the ground and the lift of the right thigh. Begin to air twist to the left. The movement can be like 2 inches. It doesn't have to be a lot of movement. Movement may just between your 2 eyes, how you think or how you feel. Lift the inner thigh. If you're gonna open up your arms, don't let the right hand touch, just float it. Grip your left hip in strong. Stay with it. Keep bending into the standing left leg. So unravel with your hands in prayer and just look down. So neutralize. Giant step back into a lunge with your hands in prayer. Crescent lunge with your hands in prayer. Inhale the breath. Exhale, hook the elbow and twist. Crescent with a twist. You got it. Activate your back leg. You want to feel like you're pushing off the back leg. Lean back so the crown of the head lines up with your back right heel. Scissor your outer hip in. Stay with it. See if you can get in a little deeper. You're rinsing everything out in these final few breaths. 2 more. Look down, take both hands down to frame your front foot. Walk your left foot to the center, swing your right knee back behind it, and come to sit. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Slide your right heel out so your left butt comes down. Left hand behind you, right elbow is gonna hook to the outside of the thigh. I just been giving this leg a squeeze. Inhale the breath, keep your left hand close to you. Exhale the breath, look over the shoulder and twist. You try and move on the exhale breath. Yeah. Come back to center. You can counter stretch if that feels good for you. And then neutralize the spine and bring your right shin out. Cross your left ankle over it. I'll pivot towards you. Ankle to knee. For some reason, it doesn't work on one side because of knee or whatever. You just crisscross applesauce. You're still going to get something. If you've got a huge space like I do, I'm just placing a block in between the space because you want your foot to kind of hang off the end of the front knee and the other foot to be underneath the top knee. Inhale the breath, stretch your arms up. You can stay very upright today. Hands can even go behind you or you can hinge forward. Close your eyes. With every inhale and then every exhale, you're creating a little bit more space for the body to open. Good. Come up nicely to center. Take any blocks out of the way. Take your left leg and unravel it open. Slide your right leg in so it's like a tree pose. This is a little different than the traditional sail. Your left hand goes behind you and you're going to lift your hips up and your right arm up. So your left hand behind you. Yes. The left foot may not be flat on the ground in this version. It could be flexed. It's just a version of kind of back bending. Yes. Lift up a little higher. Exhale the breath, lower down. When you hit the floor, slide your legs forward. And then lower yourself down onto your backs. Just want to finish right here with one more back bend. And the back bend may actually just be kind of creating legs up the wall. If you feel that you want to go for a full wheel, do it. I mean, go for it. But what I'm going to show you right here is slide a block, any position underneath your lower back, like you're going into bridge. Okay, this is supported bridge. So do this much first. Have the palms flat. Feel the lift of the tailbone. Good. Then extend your right leg up and then extend your left leg up. Good. If you can clasp your hands, this is going to create the back bend around the block. Don't move your head here. I'm not looking at you for a reason. It's not that I don't want to look at you. I just don't want to go and turn my head quickly. If you can, close your eyes right here. The block can be any level. So if you think you put it too high, come out of it and lower it down. And it's not a plow pose, so your legs aren't moving forward. They're straight up. This is flushing out all the lactic acid in the legs. Yeah. The next few movements, try and do with your eyes closed. If you can keep your eyes closed, that's awesome. Bend your legs in half and really just feel what you're doing. With your eyes closed, bend your legs in half. Take your feet flat to the floor. Keep your eyes closed. Lift your hips up off the block and move the block slowly out from underneath you with your eyes closed. Slowly lower your lower back to the ground. With your eyes closed, reach for the base of your feet for happy baby. Don't open your eyes. It's like you're in a yoga trance. Pull your knees down around your rib cage. Broaden the lower back and the shoulder blades to the mat. With your eyes closed, let go of your feet and slowly start to stretch your legs forward. Separate your feet the width of the mat and your arms open. With your eyes closed, you are set up here for Shavasana. The next minute, complete stillness for yourself. This is the master pose, the most advanced one. Exhale all the breath, do nothing. Take a giant breath in. Take a complete exhale breath out. Keep your eyes closed, move slowly, bring your arms up over the top of your head and stretch high out of your body, like reach towards the back of the mat. Hug your knees slowly in towards your chest and squeeze tight. With your eyes closed, you can roll to the right or just rock up to a seat and sit up nice and tall. Try and keep the eyes closed, final moments. Your eyes probably won't be closed again until you go to sleep tonight. So just embrace this moment. Embrace the effects of the practice. Every day is a different journey with this stuff, so kind of makes it interesting and exciting always. Hands come to a prayer, bow your head. Most importantly, leaving with gratitude always. Lift the head, open the eyes. Namaste. Go out there, have an awesome afternoon. Stay tuned. I'm probably going to offer an outdoor class on Mother's Day. Yeah, and I want to try and do it in Old Short Hills Park. So I'll communicate with you guys. And I'll also try and get a hotspot going so I could stream it. I don't know how that will work, but these are all things I'm thinking of. Have a great week.